On the interstate, yeah. You can start at the top of the on-ramp, or like the very start of it, but yeah. Truck stops can be good.
Yeah. So I got picked up by this trucker and his daughter, and I was like, north of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And they took me all night to their farm in Michigan, middle of Michigan.
Yeah.
And they put me up for the whole weekend. And they're like, I was one part of the family, and like, riding horses and ATVs with them.
That's so cool.
They see their family and
yeah.
And then the dad, the cop, was like this old man who probably took pity on me.
Yeah.
Gave me $100 and a camera.
And a camera?
A disposable camera.
Cool. But yeah, stuff like that is what I think is the coolest part of hitchhiking. Is like sometimes you just get brought right into someone's life. Like, they bring you home, they cook you a meal, they give you a place to stay. And if you're traveling and you want to see new places, there's no more intimate way of seeing a new country or state or anything than being brought to someone's home and becoming a part of the family for a day or two.
They always say it's such a shame when you travel to a country and you stay at a hotel, you don't get any flavor at all.
Yeah. And for traveling, like taking a bus, plane, train across the country, you're getting across it and you'll see the geography of the country, but you won't actually like get a feel for the culture.
Well, actually, just recently I hitchhiked. I was in LA.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go north, and we stood there for like an hour or two, like really depressing. But anyway, I mean, because like a group of like Ecuadorian-looking guys who were probably illegal, you know, driving by like a pickup truck with guys in the back. And like, well, what are you afraid of exactly?
Yeah.
But anyway, finally, this really nice guy in a fancy SUV. He got us. He gave us his number. He would probably put us up too. I was with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. And he was like worried about us and he was texting us after.
I was in California just over like maybe 40 days ago or something like that. I started in Washington State on this trip. I went down Oregon, California to LA and then east from there. The goal on this trip is to hitchhike through all 50 states. So, like we crossed through Delaware, right?
Yeah.
Just a little section, a little nub, yeah. Which is good, because well, it's illegal to hitchhike in Delaware actually. It's illegal to solicit a ride.
Go Delaware.
So
it's funny how these small states with big opinions.
So this counts. We're gonna go through like 20 miles of Delaware, and there we go.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You started this a few years ago?
I started this stream 68 days ago.
Oh.
2 months ago. In Washington State. Prior to that, I'd never like documented anything, but I have hitchhiked.
Oh.
Prior to this trip, I've hitchhiked in 25 countries. Most of those are European countries, like, you know, there's a lot of countries in a small geographic area, so you can knock off quite a few quickly.
Yeah. Like Luxembourg or
Oh yeah. Luxembourg. What else is really small? Liechtenstein. I walked halfway across that country.
Estonia?
Yeah, no, I didn't go to Estonia. I did Lithuania, Latvia, and I went further north to Estonia. I was going Lithuania, Latvia on my way to Russia because I wanted to hitchhike around the world on that trip. And east of Europe, you've kind of got like two options. You've got Russia or you've got the Middle East. And the Middle East seems difficult right now, so I went with Russia. So across from the Latvian-Russian border to Vladivostok on the east coast.
And like you had good luck over there?
Yeah, Russia was easy for hitchhiking, but difficult for the language barrier. People couldn't speak English, which makes sense. I can't expect people to speak English in Russia, but it makes it difficult to connect with people when you don't have a language in common.
Like by
gestures. And once I got to Moscow, I went and I bought a data SIM card so I could use Google Voice Translate when there was connection. I didn't think traffic would be that busy on a Sunday. I guess everyone's going back home if they were on vacation.
Yeah. Well, they're also like pockets. Yeah. They're always like bottlenecks.
Yeah.
Radio, kill the radio star. inspired you to document? Did you want to be like a YouTube sensation?
I just want to show people what hitchhiking is like because it has a very bad reputation. And I think if you go into it with the right mindset and with a set of rules, it can be not that dangerous and actually a pretty fun, adventurous way of traveling. So I just want to show people what it's like because people don't know what it's like. And I run a live stream, so it's live as it happens. People get to see. Yeah, so it's live right now. There's 350 people watching me just hitchhike about. Yeah.
Wait, so, but it's also, it's live, it's streamed through what? Facebook, through what?
Through Twitch TV.
Twitch TV.
Ever heard of it?
No.
No. It started predominantly as a video game live streaming website, but there's an IRL in real life category, and that's where I live. I'll give you a card so you can check it out after I get out.
How do you have enough battery for that?
I've, like at the bottom of my tripod, I have a big 20,000 milliamp hour battery, and like your phone has I think mine has like a 3,500 milliamp hour battery in it, so it's like 6 times as big. So that lasts me about a day, and then I've got about 3 batteries like that size.
So you'd say it's running what, 20 hours, 15 hours a day or so?
If I run it from, like if I'm doing a full travel day and I camp out that morning, I start it like once I pack up my tent, and then I hitchhike until the sun goes down. I don't hitchhike at night, and I don't stream where I sleep at night. So it can, yeah, my longest streams have been about 15 hours. If I start a little bit later, like today I didn't start until just after noon, it'll probably be about 8 hours. But yeah, 8 to 15 hours is a usual travel day.
Can I say hi?
Yeah, for sure.
A little dangerous.
Yeah.
Look. Hitchhiking is safe. See? I'm safe. Safe.
Let's show you guys this is pretty pretty. Just for everyone in chat, for their entertainment, can you guys tell me where in the world you're from?
Sure.
Where in the world are you from? No, they're going to tell you, and I'll read it off to you. It'll take a second. There is a bit of like UK, Canada, Ireland, Columbus, Ohio, Netherlands, Northern California, UK, England, Bay Area, Texas, Wales, Finland, Brazil, Antarctica, everyone. There's always someone that says Antarctica, Iowa, Finland, Baltimore, North Korea, Connecticut, Virginia, New York, Temecula, California, Tennessee, Zimbabwe, are you? Germany, Missouri, Washington State, Iceland, New Zealand. But it's kind of cool that I can be hitchhiking some random place in the middle of nowhere in the United States, and people from all around the world can just see a little old Canadian me.
You're from where?
Canada, West Coast. Do you know Vancouver? Yeah, near there. Yeah.
Beautiful art and nature.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area. If you like being outside, it's a good place to be.
You know, like just BC and Yukon and Alaska.
Yeah.
Cascades, Washington.
Yeah.
Montana. This is probably like one of the non-sexiest parts of your trip. It's like Baltimore.
Well, I crossed Nebraska. There wasn't much there. That was just fields. I think like the actual trees and foliage and stuff here is quite nice. Like everything seems alive. Where some places it's kind of just grass and fields. So I still like it here. If I had the option, I would be on the coast right now through Delaware and New Jersey. But I can't hitchhike. It's illegal in both those states. So, and the whole purpose is to hitchhike through it. So we're just doing it.
Wait, so what's the breakdown? How many states is hitchhiking legal?
5. Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Delaware, and New Jersey. Yeah.
In a state, it's legal, and the other states?
It's mostly illegal to hitchhike on the interstate because it's illegal to be a pedestrian on the interstate. Like you'll see on the on-ramps, they'll have a sign that says no pedestrians, no bicycles, no anything like that. So that's what makes it illegal. And then I think it's like a federal law thing the rules like you cannot solicit a ride from the roadway, but the roadway is usually defined as the lane of traffic essentially. So the shoulder doesn't include that. A sidewalk doesn't count as the roadway.
Rest station definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
So any like super weird stories? You know, people pick you up?
You'll get weird people for sure. We had these two people that picked me up in California, and they like believed in every conspiracy theory and stuff. And there's a clip from my channel where they believe in just like every conspiracy theory, but then we started talking about vampires, and the guy was saying how there's like a brain parasite that can make you like want to suck like blood, like draw blood from someone, and it's like attaches itself to your brain, and like instead of like a two teeth vampire, it's a single tooth thing, and it like goes directly into the parasite. But he's like, you don't need to have that parasite to draw energy from someone's blood. So I'm like, well, have you drawn energy from someone's blood? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, did you have their permission? He's like, no. I'm like, were they okay with that? Or were they like, whoa, buddy? And he's like, they were like, whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy, like, don't drink my blood. I got shot at in Arkansas. The guy didn't know he was shooting at me, but I was right behind the sign setting up my tent that he decided to practice shooting at. That's where I live a lot of nights. No, you're shooting at a street sign, and I was behind the sign, so he didn't know I was there. But then I like turned on my light and called out because I was quite confident he just didn't know I was there. I'm like, this guy isn't shooting at me; he's just shooting through a sign at me, but not on purpose. And then he apologized, and then I stood behind him while he shot his gun because I didn't want to be on the business end of that. Oh yeah, I've had people smoking weed while driving. I had people that started drinking once I got in the car driving. I've had someone do rails of coke while driving with his knee. I had someone do a hot rail of meth while they were driving in Canada, not on this trip. That was all separate. And then if you're not comfortable with that, then you're like, oh, this is my stop here. Thank you very much for the ride. I do appreciate that. Have a great day. Like, if I tell, anytime I've like got people to, or asked them to kind of pull over, that happened, well, I'm gonna roll the dice, and you know, there's a steering wheel there. It doesn't take much to take it off the road. Most dangerous situations that I've experienced from hitchhiking have been with people's driving, like people that will like drive into the oncoming lane regardless of if there's cars coming because they just want to pass a car and stuff like that, and just people that are all over the place, just reckless drivers. But yeah, as far as people goes, like even those people doing drugs and stuff like that, I didn't feel threatened by them. I felt threatened by their potential inebriation, their mental state, and driving, because driving's just a dangerous thing. Driving's a dangerous thing, and having drugs or alcohol on top of that makes it a whole lot more dangerous. Yeah. No, me neither. And like, yeah, if I smoked weed right now, I probably wouldn't say another word. I would just sit here silently staring at something. It doesn't agree with me. I don't smoke. I did in high school, but I don't anymore. It does not agree with me. Yeah. I've seen one of them. Actually, when I was hitchhiking through Australia, of all places, I watched Cheech and Chong. I forget which one though. Right, there's multiple, right?
I think there's two.
There's two. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So on this trip, I've been through 23 states in my life. I'll start with this trip, then I'll tell you previous country-wise. So on this trip, I've started in Washington, went through Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and now we're about to hit Delaware. And do we go through Pennsylvania as well on the way? Or do you go through New Jersey? Okay. So we'll hit Delaware, New Jersey, New York if I go all the way. So that's this trip, and then on previous trips, I've hitchhiked across Canada 4 times. I've hitchhiked through Ireland, Wales. Sorry?
Can you say across Canada, east and west?
I'm from the west coast, and I'll go west to the east, and then back, that's 2, and then a crossover. Then I flew to Europe, so that was 3 times. And then last fall I hitchhiked to Boston, so I hitchhiked across Canada, then down the east coast to Boston, so that's 4 times. From the west coast to the east coast. Newfoundland, St. John's. You can't get any further east than that in North America. Cape Spear is the most easterly point in North America. That's Newfoundland, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, Cape Breton's beautiful. But you, oh yeah. You didn't go to Newfoundland though? No. It's worth the trip. If you get an opportunity, I'd recommend it. I love Newfoundland. It's my second favorite province behind British Columbia. And I'm from British Columbia, so I'm biased towards British Columbia, so. Province in Canada, yeah. And then outside of Canada, I've hitchhiked through Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, the Latvian Russian border. Like, not everyone had a car, so. Well, like, I had money and I had Google Translate, and like, I don't know, like if I need to bail myself out with a flight, I could have just bought a flight and got myself out of there if I needed to. Yeah, kind of. Like some places in Central Australia had nothing. I hitchhiked to the Canadian Arctic last winter, and there was not much service up there, and it's cold, and you're kind of just out there. But with that said, everyone that does drive by is like, do you need help? Are you okay? Because you're in the middle of nowhere. It was, getting out of a city was like kind of difficult. But once you were on the highway network, the toll highway network, it was really easy. People were really curious what you were doing. So they saw you, they're like, this guy clearly isn't from Japan. I want to know where he's from, where he's going. So I'd get rides really quick. And it was a cool way to see it. I hitchhiked from Fukuoka, like the southernmost city on the main island, to Tokyo, and flew home from there. And that was a really unique experience. I'd like to go back there and hitchhike around again. Yeah, I've heard that kind of reputation, but they just seemed very curious. They just seemed very curious about what I was doing, and I guess so they had no problem picking me up. They had no problem. And with that, like everywhere I go, I'll have people being like, "Oh, people don't hitchhike here. People don't pick up hitchhikers around here. It's not gonna work here," and it works everywhere. People are people no matter where you go. There's some small cultural differences, but it's really not that different. And then on this trip, I've learned how to hitchhike on airplanes. On this trip, I got taught how to hitchhike on airplanes by this guy that picked me up, who happened to be a pilot. So I've hitchhiked on 5 airplanes so far. You go to like small municipal airports where people own their own airplanes, and you just talk to people until you get a ride. No, yeah, that wouldn't really work. It'd be funny, but that wouldn't really work. You have to like, yeah, you have to network your way onto the plane. Essentially, make them like you enough that they'll invite you on. But it's not commercial planes. It's just people that own their own planes. I got one chartered flight, like a charter airplane. And I asked the passenger. The passenger's like, "Yeah, sure, you can come along. I just have to ask the pilot." And they're like, "Hey, can we take a hitchhiker?" And he's like, "I don't see why not. Just let me call the company." So he called the company. They're like, "I don't see why not. Let me just. We just have to take his information and make sure he's not on the no-fly list." So they called, gave my name, and I was fine. So they took me from New Orleans to Monroe, Louisiana. I guess, yeah. Yeah, I know. I've like on this trip, I've only had 3 rides with truckers because most are not allowed to take people anymore. Yeah. And yeah, some truck driver, like one of them that picked me up wasn't supposed to pick me up, but did anyway because they just wanted to. But the other 2 were owner-operators, so. Yeah, and a lot of time it's because they're bored, yeah. With that said, like a lot of them with cell phone plans and stuff like that, they'll listen to like audiobooks or whatever, the podcasts, or they'll talk to all their friends and family. Truck drivers are always on the phone, it seems like. When you see them going, they're always on the phone doing something to occupy their brain for the long trips, where 10 years ago you didn't really have all those options. Yeah. Yeah, and I've had people that kind of they didn't like outright ask that, but they'll lead down that path, and if I steer the conversation in a different direction, they got the point. Yeah. You got the point? Yeah. Yeah. What was the longest ride you got? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. In Israel, really? How was that?
It's like a breeze, because
All right.
Hello? Sorry, guess what? So I'm driving Ezzy, who's next to me, and picked up this fella, Trevor. Trevor, can you
Hi.
see him? He's a world-class hitchhiker.
World class.
He puts everyone else to shame. Like, Ellie doesn't hold a candle to him. What?
Thanks, Ultimate Shadow. Can you send me a whisper? Sorry?
Yeah, he does like a live feed as he does everything. It's like he runs it like 15 hours or whatever all day, and he's connected to a certain channel.
I have a business card and everything, which you'll have. You'll get at the end of this.
Yeah, so he did like 20. Originally, he's from Vancouver, but he hitchhiked all over the U.S., like a bajillion states. Basically, what your brother did, but he hitchhiked. And he hitchhiked all the states and across Canada twice, which is not easy. Vancouver to Newfoundland, and did 25 countries in Europe. So that should be on your list. Like all those weirdo countries like Luxembourg and Liechtenstein, Latvia, whatever. So that's your dream, right? How long were you on the road for before I got you?
Waiting for you to pick me up?
Yeah.
Like 25 minutes?
20 minutes. What? Yeah. What's your story? Are you coming back?
Check Portugal. I do want to go to Portugal. I miss like Spain, Portugal, Italy, Estonia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Finland, like all those European countries I missed. I want to hit. He's on the phone with his girlfriend, so that's why he's not talking very loud. He said he's hitchhiked in Israel, but I don't know if he has any ties there. I think that's really unique. I haven't met someone that's hitchhiked there. Yeah, it's crazy that this is right to New York. This knocks off Delaware and New Jersey, which is the two illegal states for me to hitchhike in. So this is actually very convenient, because if I got dropped off in, well, Delaware and New Jersey, I'd have to figure something out. But I managed to catch a ride right through those. That was pretty lucky. And actually I had a girl pull over before these guys, and they were only going to Philadelphia. And I could have hitchhiked out of Philadelphia direction New York, but this gets me right through. But she didn't like the camera, so that's fine. my antenna came out. So.
On this house all day? Is that what you want me to tell you? No. Well, I have to hang up. Bye. Back as well.
Oh yeah.
You want to change into shorts? No.
I'm good, yeah.
What I'll do? Make ice coffee. Yeah, almost. Where?
Okay.
You good? Want some?
No, thank you.
I love rest areas because I always have stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I love taking my time on my trips so I don't feel rushed.
Yeah.
You want to lean back? There's the lever on this side. Yeah, I'm not tired. Hey, it turns out I'm like 2:15-ish. You need any water?
I'm good. I got about 2 liters here.
You're a real backpacker.
Gotta have water. You're off? Okay.
So your viewers actually, how many viewers do you have in channel altogether? Right now, for instance, we've been watching?
Yeah, 330 as far as my little number thing goes, but it's not accurate. It kind of, but that's within 20 people.
Right. So, what are they watching now?
Just
Are they actually watching?
like right now, it's pointed out the front window so they can see what the scenery is.
So cool. So, but do you think they're actually sitting down popcorn watching?
They could be doing anything. It could be on their mobile phone while they're doing something else, or they could be at home on their computer. They could be playing video games on one screen and watching the stream on the other. It's really varies.
Cool.
Yeah, but maybe it'll happen eventually. What is that? I have read it. No, Into Thin Air, that was a good book. Did enjoy that. And then that was, I think, the 96 Everest year. Like it's a real story. And the old previous to doing this, I worked in the outdoor industry selling outdoor gear, and
Well, they say Everest is like strewn with corpses and soda bottles.
yeah, it's a garbage dump. It's everyone's toilet garbage disposal. You don't pack stuff down. Yeah, now recently they've making people kind of pack down garbage as they come down to clean it up a bit. But yeah, there's like when you're at that elevation, you don't want to carry anything.
Okay.
You're paying attention to the roads, so like you can audio chat.